Wes Miller and the Cincinnati Bearcats get a convincing win in their first round matchup of the Big 12 tournament, 87-68 over your boys, Lutz and the gang, Oklahoma. Yeah, they're your boys, Subi. This is how this is gonna go. If you make any declaration, if you give me any sort of inkling that you're attaching yourself to a team, and you gave, I think, maybe two and a half compliments to Coach Lutz, and I was like, oh, so he's a Cowboy. So that's your team, and you got to explain yourself now.
That's crazy, man. I mean, I listened to one of yours and Greg's videos about how like you got, the Kyle and Boswell video, like you got to take it one side or the other. And now all of a sudden I'm like from Stillwater. I got like a mullet like Coach Gundy being like, I'm a man, I'm 40. I guess fine, I'll wear it. Uh this game was a bad pick by your boy. And you know what? Fair enough. Let me come clean on the Lutz stuff first. I was talking a little sideways about Wes Miller about how I didn't think he was going to have his guys prepared. Completely inversed. Like Cincinnati was prepared and ready to go to play this game. Oklahoma State was not. The two things that stood out to me the most, man, and it was just glaring. One, the Cowboys. And you know what? Credit to me. Like I don't deserve this loss that much. Let me tell you why. Oklahoma State had the most turnovers all season. I think they had 24. Dude,
24,
like
24 turnovers. Cincinnati had 18 steals in this basketball game.
crazy, man. Like one every two or three possessions. I swear that ball was on the ground. There was a 5 minute stretch, it felt like, where the game was being played between the 3 point lines. I mean, you and I are fathers. I would not hand my baby off to any Oklahoma State personnel because I think they'd drop him or they'd lose him. And I don't know what would happen. Like it was just awful from the Cowboys. So that was one thing. The second thing, kind of game within the game. Did you notice how Oklahoma State just gave up so many easy cuts
Yeah,
to Cincinnati?
and this is not a good offensive Cincinnati team. Like the fact that they scored the way they were able to score because they didn't. I mean, they didn't get hot. They scored 87 points in this basketball game, and they hit six threes. They shot 26% from three, and they were still able to shoot. They're still able to get 87 points in this basketball game because it was basically free reign to go lay it up or get shots inside the paint if they wanted it.
Dog, Dan Skillings had his own dunk contest for about three straight possessions, just oop after oop after oop, which came after turnovers. But back to the cuts, I mean, these weren't even that complex. I don't think. I mean, you touched on the offense, but I thought it was just like a simple V cut on the corner, and there's just no rim protection, but no one was around him. It was like I was befuddled, astounded by that. I mean, this is JV type stuff, so I was really disappointed there with with that. But like, I don't know. That was something that stood out to me.
Yeah, no, I mean it stood out, and then the thing is though, you're watching that, and then you actually go just to. Sometimes I don't know if it's anybody else. I find myself watching games. I'm like, man, this team looks like they're not grabbing a rebound for anything, or man, this team looks like they're scoring in the paint at will. I knew that Cincinnati was doing that, like you said, but I didn't know it was to the tone that they had 48 points in the paint. 48,
Dominated.
48 points in the paint. They scored 26 points off of those 24 turnovers from Oklahoma State. I don't care what Oklahoma State did in this game. They're not winning a game where you turn the ball over 24 times, you give up almost 50 points in the paint. You're not going to win any basketball game. I don't care if it's Cincinnati. I don't care who it is. You're not going to win games like that. And I mean, this game was really never in doubt for Cincinnati, especially because they weren't able to do the whole Cincinnati offensive stalling thing when it was their offense's layups.
Yeah, this one wasn't in doubt, but contributing to that was Oklahoma State's probable best player, Usman.
Mm.
He fouled slash technical fouled out, and that was just a frustration. I kind of get it. He was probably just like, "We're not winning this game. I don't want to be here anymore." So I'm going to pick up my fourth personal foul, and then honestly, you know what? Usually I'm on the ref's ass. He gave him a long, long leash, and Usman came back and kept arguing. And he's like, "All right, man, I got to give you a tech. You're done for the night." So yeah, there was just zero resistance from them. And look, if not for Connor Dow for Oklahoma State, I mean, he gave me a shred of hope that my prediction was going to come right. That boy was shooting it from three. I think he only missed one three. But outside, I mean, at that point, I was like, Coach Lutz, give him the basketball and get the hell out of the way. You have no other options. You can't hold on to the ball. If he has the ball, I'd rather him shoot like a Steph Curry range type of three as opposed to anyone else putting it on the floor or making an entry pass or any like a dribble handoff, man. Like it was the offense was just so disjointed. And I do give credit to Cincinnati in that respect. And then going along with that with the Bearcats, man, Dylan Mitchell, for real. I know we're having fun with this pre or recap, but Dylan Mitchell was like that this game. He was amazing.
Sensational. I mean, I've always been a fan of his, even going back to high school in the Montverde days. And then obviously it didn't work out for him at Texas. Electric athlete, maybe other things didn't come along the way they wanted to. Did have the turnover issues in this game, but I mean, he stuffed the stat sheet. He was all over. He had 8 offensive rebounds in this basketball game, 15 total, 5 assists, 18 points, a steal to add to that. Those silly 6 turnovers will throw away because he had such a great stat line. But in a game like this, I think you mentioned Skillings earlier, and then you have players like Dylan Mitchell. When it's going to be free reign at the rim, they're going to have the ability to go to the hoop and make those kind of baskets. They're really going to be a tough team to beat. And I mean, look, Cincinnati was able to do this and have all these layups and score as many points as they did, and they got 0 from Lukosius in this game. Didn't make a field goal in this basketball game. Sorry, he had 2 free throws. My apologies, but did not make a field goal. 0 of 4 from 3, 0 of 6 from the field. Cincinnati, like we stated on the preview, they have some work to do. You can't get that work done unless you win the first one. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn my cap forward. I'm gonna tip it to Wes Miller and the boys for having themselves a nice, easy, feel good win to start this off in their journey to, I don't know, stealing a bid, making it tough on Selection Sunday. I don't know what you want to call it.
Okay, so I'm apparently a Steve Lutz guy, but you're over here talking about Wes Miller still in a bid. I'm
Look,
writing that down. That's in my notes, my man.
look, I got our good friend Riley Davis. He's trying to free himself of Hubert Davis, and I think that Wes Miller might be the choice or the guy he wants. I don't know if that's an upgrade or not, but we'll see how that goes. But look, in the Big 12, the one thing you have on your side outside, we look at other conferences like the ACC. You at least in the Big 12 have a chance to pick up some big wins here. So Cincinnati
Mhm.
will match up with Iowa State in the next game. We will have the preview of that game on this channel. Of course, though, because this was the first game of the the Big 12 tournament, I do have to get your thoughts on this, Subi, before we get out of here. Where are we at on the court? I loved it.
It took me a minute. It honestly took me until halftime to really get used to it. Get my. I mean, I feel like I'm. Is it the Matrix where it's like all the
Yeah.
digits going down? Like that's what I kind of felt like I was watching. I'm gonna get used to it. I don't hate it as much as I did right at tip. Last couple notes I'll make though, Cart,
Oh
on
yeah.
this game. Uh, there was just one sequence at the end of the half for Oklahoma State that kind of sealed it, right? Like they were only down 8 or 10,
Mm-hmm.
and then they called a timeout, and then they immediately gave up 4 points, like a turnover, and then they fouled. And then the lead ballooned to like 12 based off of some lucky shot that OK State hit. But that was no good. Flipping to the Bearcat side and looking ahead, there were some knocks for Day Thomas and Jizzle James.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have like days or a couple days to get right. Like you're right back at it. I think Day Thomas was the one who went to the locker room. Maybe it was
Yep.
just Jizzle James. I'm not sure, but I don't know. They're already going to be fighting an uphill battle against the Clones. They need those two guys 100% healthy. Not sure if there's going to be a lingering effect there.
Yeah, very physical team. The one thing of downside about playing on that first day, like you said, you're right back at it. If you want to get there, you got to earn it. You got to win a string of games and back-to-back days. They can tap into the AAU days. But we'll have the preview of the Cincinnati Iowa State game up here on the channel. Cincinnati takes the first game of the Big 12 tournament, 87-68 over the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Best of luck this summer to Lutz and Subi and the boys. I'm not doing that the rest of this time,
That's
Subi, but
crazy.
we'll have all the Big 12 tournament previews and recaps over here on Sleepers Media YouTube channel. Be sure to like, subscribe, and tap in.